Ahoy there! I be Captain Moron! It's a good to have you with me today. That sounded a little bit like Mario. I am a casual Marvel Snap streamer bound to boldly find card synergies that no snapper has found before. I play a different deck every week, post the video here on YouTube, talk about the MVP, the surprise, the takeaway, and I stream on Twitch every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday night so you can see how the deck goes. And I'm a little weird. I like to try out-of-the-box things. So you might say I'm a moron, so you don't have to be. So today's plan is to review this past week's deck, which I called Absorb Taskmaster, and then I'll show you where to find that on MarvelSnapZone.com. I'll go over the next week's deck. We have a fun little surprise with that one, a little sneak peek. And then I will send you on your merry, merry weekend of away. We start with the Taskmaster Absorb deck. As you can see, and you may have seen in the last week's video, the idea is to play cards with detrimental effects so they can be zeroed, and or Taskmaster then absorbing land, especially for a Tomb of Red Skull. The MVP of this deck had to be Red Skull. Even just landing the Red Skull Taskmaster combo was very powerful, often a winner. The deck as a whole was very good. I got 101 cubes, so just over 10 ranks over the course of the week. Not bad at all. The surprise for me was Ebony Maw. I think it's easy to forget how nice a zeroed Ebony Maw can be. I mean, a 1/7? I mean, look, these are the highest power 3 cards out there, and they're at 7. Maximus and Black Cat. Black Cat didn't start the week at 7, which was also a nice surprise. Thank you to the developers over at Second Dinner for that buff. And the takeaway for this deck is power wins games. And it's as simple as that. And so even if I couldn't land the Taskmaster off the Red Skull, or the Taskmaster off the Attuma, and then the Absorbing Man, just the sheer fact of having all this power on the board was so helpful, so nice, very successful. You can find that deck over at MarvelSnapZone.com. I will call it Absorb Taskmaster. So please do hop over there if you ever need a reminder. You should be able to look it up, and it will be under my name, Captain Moron, over there. Now, next week's deck, I am very excited about. I did a few tests to try a Wong going deck, tried an Agatha discard I particularly liked. They were both very successful, but this deck was the most successful. I call it Wong Cost Reduction, and here's the idea. Wong can be a powerful card, but to be honest, before today I hated it. I hated playing it. It's so telegraphed. I mean, as soon as you put Wong, there's no way to prevent yourself from being countered, and all it takes is one Cosmo and your combo's out the window. So I thought, well, it only works if you play Wong on the last turn then. And so I was like, well, if I put cards that reduce cost and I could just throw down a bunch of cards on the last turn, that could make the deck really good. So this deck was born, and watch what happened. You'll notice I have 9 energy on turn 7. 2 She-Hulks, already played 1, both of them at 0. Wong with 2 Ironhearts and 2 Gambits. Sadly, couldn't put down the last Gambit. That's a funny phrase. I had Vipered the Electro over to them, so they could only play 1 card, which they played Calling Wing. I mean, they made a strong play. Not strong enough. Quadruple Ironheart, not too shabby. With a double Gambit. Oh, ouch. And they almost eked it out over at Knight of Valir with a 16 Dracula. But alas, they did not. Now, of course, the Superflow was in that game, which was very helpful. And I got the cards in a particularly good order. With the Superflow, I was able to put Viper and Electro down very early. It was beautiful. But even in other games, this deck has done very well. It's very fun to put everything down last turn. The idea, right, is to have Sarah down, Quinjet and having Moon Girled, Electro, so you have all this energy, all these low-cost cards, and then on the final turn you put down Wong with Ironhearts, Gambits, and maybe the She-Hulk or any other cards you want for power. So I'm very excited to see how it goes this week. check in on Twitch. You can find me over at twitch.tv/IamCaptainMoron. And I will post next week to tell you how it went. Until then, don't forget, I am Captain Moron.